Hey everyone, it's Tom here, back with yet another episode of Battle Rap Resume. Today we're going to be looking back on yesterday's event, the South Division, the sort of qualifiers, prelims, if you will, for this giant 50k tournament that King of the Dart are doing over at Twitch. And we're going to be talking about the battles and all that good sort of stuff. But what I'm most excited about is the guest today. It's someone that I've had on the show a few times, someone that I'm a giant fan of, both in terms of, you know, battle rap knowledge and overall fashion direction, but also just the sort of cultural repository that this man is. You know, he's the grand wizard of battle rap to a certain extent, the high chief, the witch doctor with the stigmata, to crib one of his own phrases, the cellar dweller himself. Lush, how's it going?
What's happening is the deal. Soliloquy was good, my boy.
Couldn't you get me on the Grand Prix? Like, I could have done all right against So Severe, maybe.
I think you would have held it down for show. You could have beat Carter yesterday.
Oh shit!
You know what I'm saying?
But how's it going, man? Because you know, the world's in a crazy state at the moment, but battle rap is in a very different but very healthy place.
Well, you know, I think that it's an honor and a privilege, and I feel immense gratitude to be able to provide entertainment to people as they traverse the murky waters of this brave new world. You know, it's like, it's a real uncertain time, and a lot of people are stuck at the crib and, you know, kind of going a little bit crazy. And the fact that we're able to create somewhat of a visceral experience for people to take them outside themselves. And even if you're not able to be at a battle rap event, you can still feel that energy, still feel that intensity. And to me, it's like the most exciting times in battle rap in several years as a result of just the very nature of bringing back the judged battle, the competition aspect, the tournament, the whole like league feel. To me, like, I haven't really been this excited to watch battles that I normally wouldn't watch since literally like the Jump Off WRCs 2007, like where literally you had people sitting at home getting up early to catch the premiere of random battles, you know what I mean? Just because it was the whole what's going to happen next sensation, like, well, who's going to win? Like, there's real life stakes on the line, and I think that adds a layer of excitement that has been missing for years.
And, you know, pardon the pun with King of the Dart, but do you know, what was the ground zero of this tournament? Like, I'm guessing it must have been months in the making. Is it purely coincidental that URL and Caffeine and then Twitch and King of the Dart? Is there some looking over the fences? Like, how did it come about?
Well, what's funny about that is I just think that's the nature of where media, like the cutting edge of where media is being consumed. You know what I mean? Like the live stream has just been, in general, just live stream entertainment has become more and more popular over the years, you know, and as technology advances and it becomes more accessible to the masses, that's only increased. I feel like when we started doing pay-per-views about 10 years ago, 9-10 years ago, and that was the cutting edge format, and that's kind of became, first it was video on demand and then pay-per-view. That was like kind of par for the course. And then as these different platforms started to grow, Twitch being literally the biggest live stream platform in the world, you know, pretty much the only thing that's been able to compete with YouTube, especially, like, there's two reasons why YouTube was dominant for so long. One was because we are so accustomed to using it, and it was just like, and we were just conditioned for years. Since 2005, people have been going on YouTube, so that's like the number one. People don't even realize YouTube is actually the number one source of music streaming as well, probably because it's free. But like YouTube streams, like there's more music being streamed on YouTube than Apple Music, Spotify, or any other medium. I'm talking just strictly music. Yeah. So YouTube became a ubiquitous just place for consuming all content. And then when you add to the fact that they're owned by Google, that just pretty much puts them at the top of all search engine optimization, and you can't really fuck with them in any way, right? But then, now you got Twitch, who's owned by who? Amazon. And that's like one of the only entities in the world that could actually compete with Google in some, or even have a fighting chance in hell. So Twitch and the rise of all that. So it wasn't really like Organic had been in talks with Twitch, and King of the Dot's been in the talks with Twitch for a couple years now. You know what I mean? I don't even know how long Caffeine has existed. I've never heard of Caffeine before this recent merger with Battle Rap personally. I don't know if you have, but
no, not at all. It was just Drake's plaything, I think, is what I heard about it beforehand. Yeah.
Essentially, you know what I mean? And to me, it's kind of funny because it almost reminds me of when I was working with Film On a few years ago during the time of the Ether event.
Yeah.
That dude, Alki David, was talking a lot about live streaming and things like that. And he had a company called ETV, which was actually the company that did the live streaming for the Ether event. So it was kind of like, so I kind of saw things going in this direction. I wasn't sure how it was going to manifest. And, King of the Dot's been in talks with Twitch sporadically over the past few years and had been planning on making this move. I think that, if anything, URL solidifying that deal with Caffeine only just expedited the process, but I think it was already in the works from what I understood. And to me, from my knowledge, though, it happened there was preliminary conversations, but when the ball got rolling and when the KOTD team pitched this whole idea of a tournament, like that initial conversation and then the budget being opened and the green light being turned on was a very short process. Like I got a call from Organic, I want to say in July, I mean? Like, where he brought it up and was like, hey, start thinking about this, get ready, this might happen. And then it was like, it looks like it's going to happen. And then it was like, boom, green light, it's popping. We have like a month to get this shit lit.
And it's been so good, isn't it? It's not like building up to some mega event with all these trailers or whatever. It's just, no, there's going to be 4 battles, every Sunday that we can all join in on. And just before we get into the battles, I just want to give a quick shout out. First battle rapper to team up with Twitch that I was aware of. Shout out to Okweezy. He's been doing stuff on there for years.
Yeah, absolutely. Awkwards is an incredible gamer, and he's always, he's always had a way. Ak always has his finger on the pulse of what's next and the cutting edge. He has a insane, especially from being from somewhere like Stockton, which is like not a booming metropolis by any means, but he always has had a really keen sense of what's going to be cracking next. So, and I don't even think he does it because he wants to stay ahead of the pack. It just, he seems to be drawn to certain things which catch on. So big props to my brother Awkwards, man.
And I don't know how much you know about the future of this tournament, but is it going to be like the Ultimate Madnesses that we have, where as we're getting down to the quarterfinals, the semifinals, there's going to be week breaks in between? Like, where are actually the finals going to be happening? Has that been agreed yet?
Yeah, it has been agreed. I don't know if I'm at liberty to say.
Sure.
But what I will tell you is this. I'll just say that keep in mind where the greatest concentration of the staff is, and that includes the technical side of things. So
yes.
I don't know if that gives it all away right there.
Right.
But,
okay. So it's
I'll
not.
just tell you, I'm happy about where it's at.
Okay. Yeah, that explains it. And we were just saying before off air, like the last week's West event has been spoken to death, and so many incredible things happened over there, and some people are even trying to suggest that Frack Deers was being referenced on a Frankie Boyle BBC show. I don't know if you saw that. That was tenuous. I don't actually think that's a direct reference, because he just says like, oh, it's like a white battle rapper. I think it's just serendipity, but regardless, it's symptomatic. Fuck yeah. But needless to say, is that okay? I don't want to be facetious here. Maybe I'm just forgetting my battle rap history. It's been a weird year. is that kind of the most memorable moment of the year? Fracked is, and the not even the loss. I would say even just the COVID charts.
For me personally, it was. I feel like so much of battle rap is defined by moments, and that's what people tend to remember more than just the bars, like the "Hey yo, Big Gerald, what's up? This how you talk to your son." Or, you know what I mean? Like, or Loaded Lux, you're gonna get this work, or certain things like that, which pop out as just capturing the moment that wind up just controlling the zeitgeist of the battle rap hive mind for years to come. And I feel like that is one of those classic moments that you could not have. I don't even know if Frack realized how of how impactful that was going to be.
No. And I mean, similar moments as well. I don't know if you remember, you dropped those Big Lebowski bars against Franco in 2007 in the qualifiers. That was pretty special to me. But I mean, someone like Frack, like you said, like someone like Aqua's before, that is kind of just, they have their finger on the pulse. And they just, Frack's constantly doing these viral videos, but it never really feels forced. He kind of knows the language and knows how to connect there. It just makes sense that someone like him would pop off what other battlers might have been swallowed by the controversy, but he's just flourished through it.
Absolutely. Frack reminds me a lot of Roan. Like, Roan was has just a natural virality about him. It's the first video I ever saw of Roan before he was even really in the battle scene was him battling Charles Hamilton at a show. And that went crazy on World Star, got several million views. Then he had the Big T moment, which went super viral as well. And then the compliment battle with Pat Stay. And I feel like Frack has a lot of similarities to Roan in that aspect. He's, it's a super likability, it's a super marketability, and just a keen sense of where we're at as society, you know what I mean? And being able to put that in a really just concise form that is digestible for the masses. And Frack has a gift of doing that.
So getting into yesterday's event, how does Lush enjoy a battle event? Like, do you have it on the screen there? Are you in the WhatsApp chats of the staff? Are you just soaking it all in? Like, what's your method of seeing the battles?
All of the above. The answer is D, all of the above.
And you're also remixing an album at the same time. I just imagine,
Yeah, that's really what it is. I mean, what's so cool about Twitch is anybody with a smart TV you can watch it just like you're watching a MMA pay-per-view or any sporting event or something like that. And then the adding the layer of interactivity of being able to chat simultaneously and vote on it, and the fact that you don't know the people when we're watching it, we don't know when this is going to be released or when on YouTube or anything. So you have to catch it in the moment. It really just adds a whole other layer of excitement. So I'll be doing that. And then simultaneously, like you said, very astute guess right there. I'm in the staff chat, chopping it up and tweeting about it, promoting it. It's real exciting to do it all in real time.
Yeah, and I mean, anyone that's been on Twitch will know that the chat just races by. So it's really hard. Occasionally you see people's names. It's a little different to Caffeine, where the bigger battlers, they just linger for a little bit with the props or whatever. I just caught this on Reddit today. People go on our rap battles. Apparently, I don't know if you noticed this, Lush, or maybe someone put your hip to this. Big K and Marv 1 were roasting each other in the comments, and there is some incredible one-liners, real original insults. Proper made me laugh, and it's that's what you get with the Grand Prix, baby.
Exactly. It's it brings the best out of everybody. You know what I mean? And there's so many different. It's a chance for anyone with a strong personality to step out there and shine, and that's why all that shit is super exciting and just adds different layers to the mythology of the whole thing,
And just before we get onto the battles, I don't want to recap the battles. I want to shout out to everyone involved on the staff as well. Lush, can we just clarify something? Ack doesn't work for King of the Dart. I don't think he mentioned that, but can you just clarify once and for all?
He is not a part of the King of the Dart staff, but considering how well he did, who knows, that might change.
Yeah, no, he was fantastic, and everyone was involved as well. And I thought they kept it going. I don't want to call them the dark days, but I remember watching like old World Dom pay-per-views and stuff, and they just kind of had to keep it going for half an hour. They're waiting for the battles, and they're just talking about predictions. And there's only so much fluff Battle Rap Chris can say, and I think things kept moving quickly. Visually, it was crisp. Like what did you make of the whole sort of commentary color side of it, as it were?
Well, that's something that we kind of the overall viewing experience, and the fact that this is going to be consumed not only by hardcore battle rap fans, but a brand new audience as well. This is the largest. Twitch even hit us up and said this is one of the largest debuts in their history that they ever had. We had the first week over 100,000 unique viewers. The second week over close to 200. It was 198,000 unique viewers. So keeping that in mind and having a very, we have all of our previous experience as the learning curve, and that's about it. We had to make sure that we tailored the production to make it viewable for a mass audience. So we kept all that in mind when going into production.
And the first battle then that we had of So Severe and Scotty. Now, So Severe was someone that I've just recently discovered. It was actually through an event that I believe you were at, the Guardians of the Culture event, the Body Snatchers event.
Yeah.
Him versus Franchise, and I'll never forget the flip that he said that made me an instant fan. Franchise said something about he was lucky, or that was the gist of it, and So Severe just flipped it at the start of his second, like, you think you're lucky till you find yourself underneath the ladder, and it was just a fucking unbelievable turn, and the room explodes, and you're there, and So Severe, probably one of the more obscure names on the card, right? And great to see him get a victory as well over a bigger name.
Yeah, So Severe he's fire, man. And I think that he's one of those dudes where in the building, his energy and the way he's a very commanding presence, loud booming voice, and the way he's able to juxtapose that with really intricate bars, which might just go over your head if you hear it the first time, and you kind of gotta because he'll go on whole schemes as to where if you're not up on game, you might not realize the gravity of what he's saying, but he'll still have a really sharp delivery the whole time to carry it through. I've been a huge supporter. I was definitely an advocate for him being in this tournament, and he did incredible. I feel like that was him versus Scotty was one of the most difficult battles to judge of that whole entire South bracket, because Scotty has a really different, more conversational, lot more I would say smoother. He swags it out super hard and incorporates a lot of comedy. You know what I mean? I feel like he has a style that would just lend itself to be great on the King of the Dot platform and has a lot of star power. You're definitely going to be seeing him working with us a lot more, despite the fact that he lost in the first round. I think that going up against a lot of other opponents, he would have won. I think the South bracket really surprised a lot of people because on paper, the West had a lot more notable names. You know what I mean? There's a lot more views and hype around a lot of the dudes in the West, but I feel like the South just came out swinging. I think a lot of them had the liberty of a little bit more prep time. Not all of them, obviously, and we'll get into that in a minute, but just watching what the rappers out West did right and did wrong, and then the gravity of performances like we seen from Frack and Thesaurus, and and even Diz. I feel like people really undermining what Disaster brought to the table because they feel like Frack won. But at the end of the day, Disaster, it's not his fault that the judges chose Frack. You know what I mean? He was coming with it the whole fucking time, and being in the presence of Disaster in the room, the energy is unparalleled.
Yes, yeah, no, it completely is, and yeah, I agree. I had So Severe taking it. I mean, he said in the battle that he wasn't, because he was very different to how I saw him against Franchise, because he was barking in the Franchise battle, and this one he was more relaxed. He said in the battle it's because he's got money now, which, hey, you know, that's a good excuse. He was more chill with it. And Scotty, again, does have that kind of, conversational is the perfect word, really. Very comfortable. And, you know, Lush, I mean, certainly yourself, but between us, we've seen a lot of battle rap. Sometimes when people do Wu-Tang schemes, I'm like, there's nothing else you can do with the members of Wu-Tang and punchlines. It's all been done. So when he was like, I've got a method, man, I was like, come on, dude. But like, apart from that,
there's a couple little moments like that, but then the fact that he brought up Park Hill, he was referencing the actual hoods.
Right.
You don't really see that too often. Like, I thought that was kind of an interesting twist to the typical Wu-Tang. It wasn't just like, I'll inspect your deck.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. What did Sharon say? Like, I'll leave jizzer on her face or so. I think it's all kind of been done. But yeah, that was a really good battle. And now pushing forward into Trez versus Lotazay, which I thought this battle was phenomenal. And, like, I've always been a fan of Lotazay. And over here in the UK, like, we kind of, our eyes are open to Lotazay. 5th birthday, Don't Flop, he battled Mr. E.
Right.
It's one of the great Don't Flop sleeper battles that everyone needs to check out. One of the pen battles. And he was just outstanding in this Lotazay. He's got that, you've really got to listen closely to the bars, and some of them are quite abstract. Like, he said something like, your house will need a dock close, like a lake view, or something like that. Just the way he kind of twists those images. But Trez was a little more direct, isn't it? He just punches relentlessly with a real captivating flow. I had Trez taking this, but I thought Lotazay was amazing as well.
No, absolutely. I think that's something that I always have respected about UK battle rap is there's certain artists who don't get enough shine out in America or in North America in general that will get love in the UK. Like Vlada being a perfect example, 100 Bullets being another example.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Dudes like that who flourished in the Dope Flop platform and got a lot of love in the UK, and were respected out here, but often overlooked. And I think that it's because y'all appreciate a certain level of bar craftsmanship, which tends to go over the American audience's head to a certain degree. And it was great to see Lotta back. I've always been a huge fan of him, his music, everything he does. He's a really artistic battle rapper, and I think that I think a lot of people had him underrated just because he hasn't been that active in the landscape of battle rap for a while now. But he's like, you could see what he's capable of when there's motivation. You know what I mean? Like he's always entered into the tournaments. Like he did the Immortal Technique tournament in Grind Time back in the day when he battled Real Deal, and him hopping in the mix right now. And there wasn't really any semblance of ring rust from him.
No.
The thing that I really like about Lotta is when he did have little slips, it was almost like indecipherable. You couldn't even notice it because he plays it off so well because he raps so fucking good. And I think that really impressed me. Trez, in my opinion, from the time we booked him, like as soon as this tournament was being conceptualized and they were talking about an Atlanta bracket, he's the first name that I thought of. His ability to have such a seamless cohesion between his freestyles and his written bars, and just such deadly rebuttals, but that don't sound forced at all. Like he doesn't need to make it a point like, okay, I'm going off the top with this rebuttal. You know what I mean? It's just like a part of his repertoire. Like he's a dangerous man in this tournament, and easily could be a threat to win the entire thing. And what I'm excited about is the fact that a match that me and my boy Chris Petty, from the president of ABR, Atlanta Battle Rap, have been talking about for years, because he's worked really closely with Trez and I work real closely with Saint over there in LA. Is the fact that there is a chance of them facing each other in the quarterfinals of this tournament, which will be a groundbreaking. That's going to be insane if that happens.
Oh yeah. I agree. I think Trez definitely is one of the ones to go the distance, and he showed that caliber. And I think he said in the interview as well, he's like, I'm 26, I've been battling since I was a teenager. I've got X amount of battles, and they're the only ones on camera, So many mouth-watering matchups, like Trez versus Ty Law. I'd I'd love to see if that ever happened in the semis. Trez versus Saurus, right? I mean, just on some freestyle shit.
That'd be amazing too. And I got to just give a shout out to Trez, because when I was out there in Atlanta, he took care of me. He really looked out. He's a real dude. Like the not to put too much on blast, but the things that he raps about, it's real. You know what I mean? Like he's not bullshitting. He's a real dude. He's a real street dude. I got a lot of respect for him.
Yeah, no, that was a fantastic battle. And Lush, seriously, these battles are never going to go on YouTube or pay-per-view.
No, you are going to be able to see these again
eventually. Yeah,
it's just and unfortunately, you know how much I fuck with you, Kwei. I wish I could give more details on that, but rest assured, you will be able to peep these joints again. It's just the question remains when.
Yes, yeah, maybe next year.
I would just recommend I would just recommend everybody peep it in real time. That's the way it's meant to be digested. If you have to work, put in your little earbuds and hit the cut and hope your supervisor don't catch you slipping, because this is all about the live experience.
Yeah, I saw someone on the King of the Dot Twitter, actually. I don't know, maybe it was just a fan or something, and they were at work at a bar and they just brought the Chromecast and just hooked it up to the TV and like fucking, I don't know, turned off the NBA bubble or whatever it is you guys watch over there, and turned off Jeopardy and put on some of this King of the Dot. So
not Jeopardy.
Jeopardy's my jam. Like we've recently got it on
Jeopardy is the shit.
We've recently got it on Netflix UK, and I've been going through so many. Like Lush, my dream would be to host a battle rap Jeopardy and have you as a contestant.
Oh, we might need to make that crack
like
off,
you know what I mean?
I like the sound of that.
Because the categories we could do, don't flop champions, name flips. You can just go anywhere.
Mike Assassin for $800.
Yeah. Let's make it a daily multi. Yeah, and the next battle now. Hayes the Family Man. This is Sire Boy, obviously. What is that change? Because he said in the interview, I watched the interview briefly yesterday, that he sort of, redone all his socials and this was a kind of rebranding exercise. But he's the same killer battler. Was this just, I'm trying to think of guys over there. Verb Von Doom's the only one that comes to mind, but that wasn't really a proper change, was it? But do you know any story behind this? Because Cyborg's been around since, Grind Time Georgia. Like,
I think that he wanted to just reemerge as a new entity is the way he kicked it. There might have been some different ramifications as far as just wanting to separate himself from his past in general. This is a new chapter in his life. You know what I mean? He's like he said, he's a family man now. He's family man Hayes with his family man shades, and he doesn't embody Saya Boy anymore. He's a family man now. I think that's it's just a clear step in the direction of growth. What I feel like the main reason was, and this is kind of based on conversations that were had, is that he didn't want anything that he had done in his past as Saya Boy to affect people's perception of him. Now he kind of wanted to come anew, which was a bold move, but I feel like it created a lot more conversation because, I think a lot of people's most recent memory of Saya Boy was the 2-on-2 him and John did against NWX.
Damn.
And, they took a L in that battle, and that was kind of the birth of NWX
that was, yep.
right there.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that, I think he wanted to just come anew, have a whole untarnished repertoire. And a lot of people were like, who the hell is this guy? And
yeah.
Then, I mean, it's simple, but it's a clever play on words, flipping the name backwards from Saya to Hayes.
Oh, I
Saya
see.
Spelled backwards.
Didn't even yeah, of course. Yeah. And Hayes with the upset as well. I mean, they were both fantastic, but I think the money was on Bricks, right? But Hayes just christened his moniker with aplomb coming with the victory here, like.
To me, Bricks has always been he deserves his roses while he can still smell them, and especially because people always talk about his colleagues in SONS. People always talk about how quantum physics, QP, and Conceited are pretty much the template which so many people in the modern landscape of battle rap have taken as far as the wordplay scheming and that whole style, which has become like the style du jour for many moons now. But Bricks is very, very influential in that context as well. In fact, I've heard that Bricks was doing a lot of ghostwriting for his contemporaries in that squad since the beginning too. And I know they've all talked about sharing bars and kind of like their little secret chats and all that. And I think that Bricks has been a fundamental piece of that, but he doesn't really get the same recognition. Those of us that know and aware, like, know that Bricks is got one of the most deadly pens in battle rap history, but he doesn't really get that. I think one of the main reasons is because he stays out of the controversy. He's very humble and he's somewhat of a private person. You know what I mean? And I think that what the reason why Hayes was able to take the dub from him is, one, he took a lot of people by surprise by how strong he just came out swinging out the gate. And two, the fact that Bricks, his style is not really suited for competition. It's really artistic. Mm-hmm. He's painting really vivid pictures. He's punching hard, but in an abstract way. It's almost similar to what like Madflex was doing against Thesaurus. Although in a lot of ways you could say the writing is superior, when you're going up against somebody that's just punching you upside the head time and time again, all that lyrical trickery isn't going to really hold as much weight. And I think that's kind of why the judges deemed Hayes the victor. And I don't think that's another one that was a tough call, but I definitely can see why they preferred that style. Bricks is fire, though. Big props to him. And I think my favorite thing of the whole battle was immediately afterwards, just the display of sportsmanship, both of them giving each other props. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like as soon as the battle was over, and to me, that's what battle rap is all about, and showcasing the aspect of this is a community, this is a family, we all got love for each other, and it's just about keeping our swords as sharp as possible and challenging each other to become the best versions of ourselves as artists. And to me, like, that perfectly exemplified the energy that I hope is carried out through the whole tournament. Wasn't no bitterness, wasn't no poor sportsmanship. Hayes, the first thing he did was give props to Bricks, and then Bricks responded with, "You deserved it, bro." You know what I mean? Much love to you. To me, that energy was my favorite thing of the entire event.
Yeah, and I mean, touching on that, it kind of encapsulated by one of the funniest lines in the battle where Bricks is saying, like, we're still family, it's just not your guap. And, like, everyone burst out laughing. The delivery and that was perfect. And Hayes was just a little bit more ruthless, whereas Bricks kind of had that whole third about, what was it? Like, we want black fathers, not black martyrs and stuff like that. Hayes also touched on that, but, a little more brevity, perhaps. He was a little bit more listen with it.
Direct. Mm-hmm. It was less abstract, more direct. And I think, again, to reference the Thesaurus versus Madflex battle, I feel like same thing right there.
Yeah, completely, yeah. And there was also a reference, again, like, I know all this NBA stuff's going on, and, like, my complete knowledge of basketball and American sports comes from watching battle rap. But I sort of understood the line about load management, kind of talking about his balls and also basketballs, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Right, there you go.
Which was huge.
You got the gist of it.
Yeah, I got the idea. Like, Lush, like, it's how I know who, fucking Steph Curry is or anything like that. Is like, over here, Steph Curry is like an Indian dish. Like, we would not know about the...
I was going to say, yes, it's probably some type of, like, yellow curry.
Some horrific curry that for some reason has the word Steph in front of it, yeah. But yeah, this is, again, a good battle. And, I mean, it just bodes so well for the league, isn't it? Everyone's so hungry because there's real money on the line. The matchups are exciting. The atmosphere is conducive to, a more competitive environment. Like, this is just win-win-win for King of the Dot. I think this is going to be such a boon. I'm so happy it's going so well,
And what I can say is, again, without giving away too much, is this is just the first step in, this is kind of a prelude to what we got coming. And this is the energy, this is now a league where we're doing judged battles. You know what I mean? That's it. There's going to be wins and losses. We're not doing exhibition match. I mean, we might do exhibition matches, but they're still going to be judged wins and losses. And it's no more of these promo battles. This is how we're coming. There's going to be, it's incentivized. There's a meritocracy. If you win, you get something out of it. If you lose, there are consequences. And it's going to be interactive and having more fan involvement than ever before. And that's just that's the way that King of the Dot is emerging in this post-COVID world.
And final battle then, we had Clone versus Carter Deems. Do you want to just explain quickly how this came about? Because obviously Carter had like 3 days prep for this. Or they both did, right?
So here's the full story.
Hmm.
When we were putting this together and booking, because there's Poison Pen in the East Coast, there's Organic in the North, myself in the West, and Direct in the South, and then also there's J Pro and Gully TK. Now, all of us booked all of these battles together. It wasn't like like I might have had more of a hand in the West, Direct more so in the South, but we all were working together and every step of the way, assembling these cards and assembling the judges and putting everything together as a squad. So so I was privy to this from the jump. Although, just in case there's any confusion of, this dude's only running this division or this or that. No, we're all in it together. It's just the different roles we assume that makes sense for the greater good and the viewing pleasure of the masses. Now, originally, Carter was going to be in the tournament, but then had something come up in his personal life where he wasn't sure if he had another obligation, and he had to let us know by a specific date if he could be in it or not, but that was past. It would have been not enough prep time for the rapper, so we had to remove Carter from the tournament, and it wasn't even this match. So he wasn't going to be battling he wasn't going to be battling Clone, but that's just the nature of it. And then so Clone was going to be battling Oops, and Oops, in light of the whole controversy and all the fuckery surrounding this Breonna Taylor judgment, Oops is a dude that's been on the front lines and pushing the line for social justice reform for a long time. He was frontline during the Mike Brown protests and all that, and several different protests, and is a strong activist in the community and a leader in the community. So him needing to bow out in light of fighting for justice makes perfect sense, and he had the full support of the King of the Dot staff. Everybody, we love Oops. My man Bruce Franks Jr., man, shouts to him, dog. He's a real one. Love that guy. Now the tournament has to keep going on regardless, and Clone, who was going to be his opponent, was literally 3 days before the battle, we were able to get. It turns out Carter's obligation had been he was free from that now, so he was able to get in it. He agreed to take the battle. Now Clone, we did give him some additional compensation, and I was definitely afraid that what would happen if Clone lost, because it would really suck. And I knew Clone was a monster, but the fact that he was able to adjust his material and come with 3 rounds that were so hard that he had such a strong handle on in such a short amount of time is unprecedented. I've damn near never seen anything like it. I didn't even see a slight moment of stumble or anything like that. I see rappers that have 2 weeks to prepare and can't put things together that quickly and that concisely and strongly. And there was very, if any, it was almost all directed at Carter. He didn't really have anything that he could have used, especially because Oops and Carter are such different rappers, you know what I mean? There's nothing. They're from completely different demographics. There's not bars that you could use for Oops that will really apply to Carter like that. And Clone's material was really direct. And in Carter's behalf, him stepping up so fast and hopping in there, that deserves a lot of respect. I got a lot of love for Carter. He's the motherfucking man too. It's just he wasn't able to get himself around the material as quickly. I don't know what he's got going on, but it just didn't seem like it didn't work out for him the same way it did for Clone. And I will also say that Carter's material has never been, and I know he's been in a lot of freestyle competitions and is very competitive, but again has one of the more abstract styles.
Yes.
Could be very dangerous in the context of a competition, but also is a little bit different. It's not really what we're used to, and it's definitely not as you said earlier, cutthroat and brutal. You know what I mean? He's not really getting at people in as condescending of a way that seems to be winning over the judges in this context. So, I don't want to say it was I don't want to say he gave up, but he at a certain point you kind of forfeit by default when you're stumbling through your first round and your opponent's just hitting the nail on the head every time. There's no real coming back from that. So after that first round, it was an uphill battle. Clone continued to just hit him hard every single time. And Carter, I give him props for he never actually did give up. He kept trying to find his material that he lost and did the best that he could, and respect to him. But, Clone had a standout performance. I would say one of the best performances of the first round thus far.
Absolutely. He left Earth. But, I mean, Carter's first, and Poison Pen pointed out at the end, which is right, like, he didn't really choke. He just sort of had a few, brain stumbles or whatever, but connected things together, and certain multis led him in certain synaptic directions, and he could get a punch out here and there. But you're right, his kind of, Andy Kaufman sort of style, I don't know,
right.
If he came up against like a Trez or something, who knows, he might get shredded. But still, Carter is a genius, don't get me wrong. He's a unique
Absolutely. Talent. And I feel like Carter at his best, a fully prepared Carter, could easily win this entire tournament, and also on top of that be a huge fan favorite of the Twitch audience. He always wins the miscongeniality of every tournament regardless. Even if even when he loses, he still wins because he's a fan favorite. He has that super likable, genuine quality about him.
So that gets us to the end, really, of the South Division there. And what are we looking at next week? Is that what is that?
We're going to New York now. We're going to Jersey next.
Damn.
So yeah.
Fuck.
Be out east. It's going to be
So
crazy,
we got
dude.
Head Ice. I mean, we don't need to really go through these battles, but just so people know, Head Ice, Ty Law, Excel, Eddie I, J Murder, Rich Dollars, Bonnie versus Show Off, and then I guess the whole headline of the whole Grand Prix, if you will, is that Joe Nice back versus Joey Gambello.
Very exciting. I'm psyched that Jonah is finally deciding to make his return. It's amazing that's why these tournaments with these incentivized cash prizes and things like that are so important, because it brings people back that a lot of us never expected to ever see battle again. So it's really exciting to see Jonah stepping back. And I know a lot of people are upset that Disaster's still in this, but imagine if there's a circumstance where Diz and Jonah get to face each other again.
Yeah.
In this setting, it would be literally like the world will stop.
It's been more than 3 years since Joe and I last battled. It was at Blackout 7 versus Chilla.
Right, yeah. There was the Psychosis battle, and then there was Chilla, and I think that's it.
No, there were a few between that. He battled Raptor, which I thought was his last one, but it wasn't.
Okay,
over here.
that's right.
And then he also battled Daylight and Danny Myers as well. So
okay, yeah. So there's a big misconception then that the Disaster battle killed his career, because he had some real strong appearances after that.
No, he definitely did, and it's very, very exciting, the prospect of him coming back, but also the prospect that if he gets through versus Joey Gambello, and no offense to Times, but I can see a pro like Real Deal moving through. Real Deal versus Jonai, that's an interesting one.
That would be fire too. I think Real Deal. He's a real class act, and he's one of the best competitors in this whole thing. He's been doing. Look at his entire career trajectory, from fighting for the King of the Dot belt to doing the paid dues tournament in Grind Time back in the day, to doing the Immortal Technique tournament, to doing Scribble Jam. He's been doing judged battles for the entirety of his career. So
UFF he was on as well. I mean, he wasn't that successful,
exactly. But he's still he doesn't fear competition. He's always willing to put his nuts on the chopping block, and you got to respect it. I feel like that gives him a huge advantage, and he's going to be a real threat to anybody he faces. I mean, he's like that in general in any context. A battle with Real Deal is going to bring out the best in the competition. He really puts his heart into it. It doesn't matter. I feel like him and Danny Myers are both similar in that regard. It doesn't matter who the opposition is, be it big or small. You're going to get the best out of them, so you're going to get the best out of him. So you, as an opponent, is going to need to step it up regardless across the board and be prepared for a fight.
And again, I mean, we watch overseas stuff, but just in terms of domestic battles that Real Deal has had, him versus Soul, in my opinion, is one of the all-time great Don't Flop battles. Quill he battled Frankie recently as well. Like, he's just sort of, I don't know. I just love. How can you not love Real Deal? Like, you know, so him versus Joe Nye, we'll see him go through, and then, oh man, this bracket is absolutely fantastic. Like, all of these divisions are so exciting. I guess I want to push people just to make sure that you've got your Twitch account. Make sure that you're streaming. Donate your little bits. Like, I see all these graphics come out in the chat, Lush. I don't really quite know what they are. I'm guessing, but as long as it's giving money to KOTD, I'm happy. Like, you know.
That's a Twitch thing.
Yeah.
Because like people, I don't know, and I will say, for some reason, posting a graphic of Ilmac's face is really satisfying for some reason. I don't know why, but that's something that's really dope. Is in addition, I want to let people know that we still have a 3+ hour program every Sunday. And although there's going to be less tournament battles, we are going to be having additional battles on the cards, exhibition matches. So stay tuned for that, because we got some fire. We're going to be introducing some dope new hitters on the payroll that are going to be future stars. And as the tournament proceeds, you're going to see some bigger names on that motherfucker too. So get ready for that.
Look, I mean, again, not to make too many suggestions, we need to see a high-profile freestyle tournament in Battle Rap again. It's been too long. Could we maybe have that on the side, like a little tailgate party or something? Like,
what I will say is this: is that there's going to be a lot more different formats that have been neglected by Battle Rap, which will be making a resurgence on the King of the Dot platform in the years to come. So definitely buckle your safety belts for that. You feel me? Because that shit is going down.
All right, and
you're not the only one that wants to see that.
Yeah, no, but I mean, you know, I've done the. I need to do another episode actually of my WRC Rewind, because Lush, I've seen pretty much every single one of your battles on the WRC. You and FLO. Like,
hell yeah.
Oh, what was No Can Do's part? Rhetoric,
oh,
man. He was an interesting cat, right? He kind of was good, and then sometimes couldn't really rhyme. Like, it was, and No Can Do was such a genius. It was kind of a weird pairing.
Yeah, no, they were like the odd couple, but they were lethal. You know what I mean?
Oh god, yeah, at their best. Yeah.
When Rhetoric would find those grooves, you know what I mean? He could bang with just about anybody. You know, it was a. But yeah, if you caught him during one of his tangents, which the thing about Rhett that you gotta love is even when the bars weren't connecting on a lyrical level, they were still always hilarious.
Oh, yeah.
And he made some incredible observations and said some of the most beautifully disrespectful things you could imagine. You know, like, my feelings are still hurt from things he said in the WRCs. I give him props.
And again, Battle Rap is the great educator, like, because everyone battled Franco. They mentioned, is it Humboldt County? Is that right? Up north? And it's like that. And I think it might have been on Jeopardy, you know, actually, coming full circle. And they asked where is this place in the US? And I was like, I remember that. I remember Lush doing an insult about that place. So I'm going to bring that back right now. So I guess,
amazing.
Yeah, I guess finally, what about yourself? Like, any projects, any music? How do people follow you? I know you do a lot of lives now and that sort of stuff on Facebook and.
Yeah, no, I'm definitely have a lot of music that I've been putting out and will continue to put out. My album Hyams, self-titled, is my last name, is going to be dropping. And shouts to one of the camera dudes from Don't Flop, Charlie Hyams, who apparently is a distant cousin of mine. We figured out.
Really? Wow. Fuck.
Which is tight. Random little factoid.
That is random.
But yeah, no, the Hyams album is going to be crazy. I got my whole new genre that I introduced last year of just grimy cinematic hip hop. It's called LA Noir Audio Cinema. I got a joint called Four and a Baby, produced by Marv One, which you can check on all streaming services. My joint Demi Lovato on the last Ruin Your Day Radio Volume 4 with Eddie I, SM, Fredo Algebra, and Chase Moore, and a bunch more joints coming soon that I'm super excited about and have been getting a great reaction. So very excited about the music, very excited about everything that battle rap related moving forward and beyond. And just to let everybody know, also, I have the biggest change in my life is I'm on the precipice of my 8th month of sobriety.
That's incredible.
Free from all mind-altering substances, no smoking weed, no drinking, no drugs. I had a very crippling and debilitating drug addiction for, the past 26 years of my life. So to be able to come out the fog and operate firing on all cylinders with full employment of my mental faculties is an incredible experience. I feel a lot different. And anybody that's interested in sobriety or struggling or wants to have any help in that regard, please don't hesitate to reach out. No matter where you're from, it ain't where you're from, it's where you're at. You can find me on Twitter at Lush One, Instagram at Lush One CA. On all social media, I'm just one click away, baby.
Well, it's so great to hear that. And, like, I mean this is a compliment. You sound the same. Like, I've always marveled at your verbal dexterity and just your reference points. And it seems like you didn't even need those things. They weren't a catalyst at all. It was all within you. So congrats to you. That's an incredible achievement, Lush, sincerely.
Thank you. That means a lot, bro. I appreciate it. You know, I've always rocked with BRR.
Hey.
You know, y'all, I think you do an incredible job and have such a deep well of knowledge. You know what I mean? Like you're the well of knowledge that Jessica McClure fell in 1985.
What is that reference? I don't know that reference.
Baby Jessica, look up Baby Jessica in the Well.
Is that the Dingo one, or is that a different one? Dingo stole my baby.
Okay. This little girl fell into a well, and the entire, I think it was like 1987 or 8 or 9, something like that, and the entire country just stopped, and it was a huge deal, and everyone was trying to get this little girl out of the well. But that well is that contains the depths of your knowledge of this culture and your passion, and I greatly appreciate the opportunity to come on this platform. You know, I'm down anytime, and we could recap the other divisions or in the future of the tournament, whatever you want.
Oh, hell yeah.
I'm down for the get down.
Oh, hell yeah. No, I just want to fucking quiz you on hip hop. Like, just, you know, I want to go in that direction. Like, but, yeah, of course, man. So, we'll get you back on anytime. People go back and check out. Lush has been on twice, I believe, both really good episodes, where I can't remember the reason that you came on the second time, but the first time was obviously more of just a grand history. And check out the WRC Rewind recaps on Ruin Your Day as well, because I go through tons of Lush's work with FLO and everyone else that was involved in their rhetoric and Franco, etc. Follow us at battlerapresume. Get in touch with me, battlerapresume@gmail.com if you want to come on the show. Patreon is there. You get access to episodes like this before they drop. iTunes, leave us a review as well. But finally, Lush, it has been a true pleasure. Thank you, sir.
You know the deal, baby. Be smooth.